G'day gang, Game Olio Dan here, now back with the Shadowrun Dragonfall. Alright, the Kreuzbasar. Kreuzberg, home to nearly half a million people and, until very recently, Monika Schafer. Once a melting pot of cultural diversity, it's now a chaotic mess of wealth and poverty, crime and commerce, anarchy and control. It's also home to your own little slice of Berlin, a neighborhood that locals call the Kreuzbasar, a safe port in the eye of a storm. The ride back to the Kreuzbasar is quiet. No one is in a talking mood as the van veers past potholes and garbage piles. The glare of streetlights and neon signs plays across your window, painting the world in a kaleidoscope of garish colours. Soon, the van rounds a corner and skids to a halt in a narrow, crumbling alley. This is as far as Berlin's chaotic streets will take you. Your team wordlessly debarks the vehicle and climbs down into a disused section of the U-Bahn tunnel system, a well-kept secret, providing your team safe passage into the Kreuzbasar. Your safe house waits on the other side. Let's get inside. Can't happen fast enough, love, the sooner the better. I think he said the sooner I get drunk the better. Something along those lines. You step inside and the squalor of the disused U-Bahn tunnel gives way to the warmth of your safe house. A man waits inside, silhouetted against the dim fluorescent lighting. Paul Amsel. Something bad has happened, hasn't it? He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face, light glinting off of steel-rimmed glasses. Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord, part deal maker, part information broker, one of the most well-connected men in Berlin. His eyes sweep across the team as he takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Iger's fury, Monika's absence. I had a feeling. How did she... His face has gone ashen, he swallows. Takes a moment to chew on the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? Something in the vault security system got her while she was jacked in. It was over in an instant. I've seen Monika hit Black Icy before. This was something worse. Gloria nods, her motions robotic and spare. Monika died of a biofeedback-induced stroke. That's right, Iger thrust a glove finger into your chest, and this idiot stood by and let it happen. Say nothing. What? Nothing to say about that, rookie? If I'd been in your place, Monika would still be alive and with us. Instead, I left her with you and now my friend is a corpse in a basement. Look, Iger, you weren't stuck in that basement with us. You don't know how things went down in there. So do us all a favor and shut it down, okay? Shut it down? F that. Iger turns to face Dietrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Dietrich. You know that? But you don't have my training. None of you have. Monika was good. She was the best, right? But she was also overconfident. She treated the job like it was a game. Do that long enough and you're gonna get burned. Iger turns her focus back to you. If you'd been paying attention, you'd have figured all of this out on your own by now. You'd have known that Monika needed watching as much as that door. Enough, Iger. Amsel's voice is hoarse, his expression blank. Enough. Iger pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured, but there's fire in her eyes. How many seconds pass between Monika's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled? 4? 5? Do you know how much damage biofeedback can be to a Decker's brain in 5 seconds? Iger, I don't. You don't have to answer that, of course you know. Monika died while you stood there and watched. This is all your... That is enough. Amsel's voice comes out in a roar and his fist smashes down on the desk behind him. Iger, you and Game Olio Dan can have it out later, but I've had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you into something much bigger than he'd led us to believe. I want to know why. Right there with you. That was supposed to be a milk run. Payback isn't the only reason why we need to find him. We saw something back there, something that we weren't supposed to see. It's fair to assume that we're all in danger. He pauses, rubs his temples. Agreed. And to neutralize that danger, we need to know who we are dealing with. Let us review the events that transpired tonight. The smallest detail could be important, so hold nothing back. The estate was just a front for whatever was going in the basement. After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. Monika lived long enough to say a name. She fought hard to tell us. It must be important. Amsel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Fire Wing. This is unexpected. You'll have to forgive me. This brings back many unpleasant memories. Glory raises an eyebrow. The Fire Wing? The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who would disagree, but they never experienced the terror of living in a shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course, but for Germans of my generation, the name Fuchswing is synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. The dragons of today are subtle creatures, full of patience and guile. Schwing was not. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Amsel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There is a haunted look in his eyes. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, roasted alive in their homes by a creature of legend. No hope for salvation and no end in sight. It was a horror that you cannot begin to understand. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on its own. Eventually the Fire Wing was brought down by a man named Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Well, with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course, but it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Vauclair that finally pierced her hide. She fell in a hail of bullets and rocket fire and crashed down into the radioactive wasteland of the SOX. The event was called the Dragonfall. Safe at last from the dragon's wrath, Germany celebrated Vauclair as a hero, our own Siegfried, a modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. If the Dragonfall was as important an event as you make it out to be, I'm surprised that I've never heard of it. Those early years of the Awakening were traumatic, Iger, not just on a national level but on a global scale. New species of awakened animals were being discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic had returned to the world, a new source of terror for a bewildered public, and in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls gave rise to yet another wave of global panic. In light of such turmoil, is it any surprise that Dr. Vauclair and the Fire Wing were forgotten? Dragons were yesterday's news. He rubs his temples. Again, all of this happened decades ago. To the best of my knowledge, the story of Schwing is a bit of a historical trivia and nothing more. Alright, so Monika spent her dying breath trying to tell us about a long-dead dragon. Iger sweeps her eyes across the group, searching for a glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Any ideas as to why? Amsel's voice trembles with frustration. No. It doesn't make any more sense to me than it does to you. The Dragonfall is ancient history. Schwing has been dead and gone for 42 years. But there's one thing that I do know. Whatever Monika saw, whatever she was trying to tell us, it was important. He visibly struggles to calm himself, takes a deep breath and slowly releases it. I will look into this and I will find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? The estate was just a front for whatever was going on in the basement. Amsel nods. That much is clear. It wasn't a minor enterprise either. The facility took serious funds to build. And time. There was more to it than what we saw. Places like that don't just spring up overnight. And all in secret. The owners, whoever they may be, were none too pleased by your escape, I'm sure. What else did you find? After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. He appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do you have any details about this orc come to mind? Do any details of this orc come to mind? Any distinguishing features that I could look into? He was an older guy for one. From the sound of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s. Pretty old for an orc. And he'd had skin grafts. Most of his face looked like replacement material. If the grafts came from a legitimate hospital, there may be medical records. This is something. I will see what I can find out. Do you note anything else during the run that may be of value? That's all we got. That's not much. Amsel nods, his face drawn and haggard. It is thin, I agree. A basement, a middle-aged orc with skin grafts, and a long-forgotten world event. Wait, we're still missing something. Who paid for this run? Amsel looks pained. I do not know his exact identity. I did not set up the run. Monika did. His face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take the job, but she assured me that it would be a cakewalk. Monika was approached recently by a man who calls himself Green Winters. He used to be a prominent activist in the F-state political scene. I never much liked the man, and I certainly never trusted him. But Monika, she would do anything for a cause, anything for the Flux state, he sighs. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future stability of the Flux. And that was all it took. We need to track down Monika's client and press him for information. Yes, most definitely. It is clear that Green Winters has involved us in something much larger than he led Monika to believe. When he finds out what happened on the run, he's probably going to rabbit. We need to chase him down before that happens. So we need information on Green Winters, and we need it fast. There is a man here in the Kreuzbasar, a Turk named Altug Burukgazi. He owns a little soika shop just down the way called Cafe Kesvi. This man is also a purveyor of information. I have done business with him from time to time. Do you think he would know something about Green Winters? Amsel nods. When I discovered Monika's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Altug. One of his people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I do not trust the man. For good reason, it would seem. I'll talk to Altug and see what he knows about Green Winters. Very well, tell him I sent you. I will do what I can to dig into the information that you've uncovered already, sparse though it may be. Alright. Oh hey Dante. As you start towards the safe house door, a large four-legged form steps around the corner. Dante, Monika's dog, an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breed. A low whimper emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low. Poor guy. Oh, Dante. Dietrich shakes his head. Don't worry, boy, we'll look after you. At the sight of Monika's dog, Amsel's eyes well up. He inhales, but can't quite catch his breath. He started whimpering about an hour ago, turned into a full-blown howl, wouldn't stop, kept. He closed his eyes. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down into the huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. He lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. Scratch Dante behind the ears. Dante leans into you and looks up mournfully, pressing his ribs up against your leg. I guess the dog is going with you, Game Olio down. Amsel takes a ragged breath and releases it, then a slow, melancholy smile plays across his face. Well, perhaps a part of Monika lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you've finished with Altug, mein Freund. With a little luck, he can help us locate Green Winters, and we can get to the bottom of this. He stares at the floor, and now I think we should all take a moment. His lips tighten for Monika. Right, so anything in the stash? No, but that's where I can store stuff. Oh, I do have Dante with me. Nice. Glory is beautiful in a wayfish sort of way. Her features are almost elvish in their delicacy, but there's something cold about her you find slightly unsettling. What's more unsettling is her chrome. Glory is rocking a heavy loadout of cyberware from head to toe. She looks to be composed more of plastic and metal than she is of skin and bone. In the shadows, individuals such as this are anything but uncommon, but Glory cyberware is first generation, all of it. Bulky, invasive, practically museum pieces. This chrome was obsolete well before she was born. Game Olio down. Glory shifts her gaze to you, but her expression is as cold and placid as always. Can I help you? Hey Glory, how are you holding up? Don't worry about me, I'm solid. You sure? You look like you're a million miles away. I'll be with you when it counts. Right now it doesn't. Any thoughts of what we should do next? Find our missing client, extract some answers beyond that, find another Decker. Monika won't be easy to replace. Best start looking now. I'll talk to you later. She shrugs, suit yourself. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I might as well talk to all these guys here. They all seem to want to have a chat. Game Olio Dan. Amsel peers at you apprehensively. His eyes are bloodshot, his expression grim. Did you get that information about Green Winters? No, not yet. Then please continue working. We need to find that man. Oh, okay. It's always on there. Right, let's go. Into this place. The special today is a caramel soy calf. Atug Barakazi. The man behind the counter looks right past you and at the dog following close behind. Dante. I will fetch his water dish and perhaps a coffee for our friend here. Paul Amsel sends his regards. When he hears Amsel's name, the Turk's voice lowers and his accent becomes less exaggerated. His eyes take on a knowing look. Ah, very good. Please express to Herr Amsel that my appreciation of his patronage. If he needs any more catering jobs seen to in the future, I'm always happy to provide. He tells me you're developing the menu for a friend of his now, Herr Winters. I believe I want to hear all about it. Yes, of course, oh wise one. Come here, come. A young woman bustles in from the back room. Her gum chewing is loud enough to hear over the noise of the coffee grinders. But Agazi spits something out in rapid fire Turkish. Kami, as you wish, uncle. I will see to it right away. Kami offers you a shy grin, snaps her gum, and hurries back into the room she came from. My girl Kami is arranging to make contact with the chef as we speak. This will most likely take some time. My chef is a busy man. While we wait, I wonder if you would be so kind as to run a small errand for me. A trifle, really. I hate to trouble you. I am embarrassed to even ask, but I would be most appreciative of your help. What is this trifle? Altug's voice lowers to nearly a whisper. The errand is simple, hardly worthy of you. I have installed a number of data taps to Berlin's fiber optic network as part of my civic duty, you understand. These taps provide free matrix access for all who live in the Kreuzbasar. In order to maintain their, their anonymity, each tap's protocol buffer must be reset every few days. I simply wish for you to visit each data tap and reset it. Simple enough? Yes, it is a simple job. Time-consuming and a bit tedious perhaps, but simple. Just reset the taps and come back when you are finished. There should be 3 of them scattered around this neighborhood. The first one is just outside. Look for a metal box with yellow arrows painted on top of it. But by the time you return, I should have the information Herr Amsel requested. I hope so, buddy. And not that you just take off. Oh, there we go. There's the first one. That one's reset. Oh, here we go. I like that it's all open and then sparking and everything. Nah, nothing going on over here. Nothing to see. My phone rings. As you are resetting the data tab, you notice that someone has duct taped a small homemade receiver to the system. An earplug dangles from the receiver. Put the earplug in your ear. The sound of heavy machinery makes it difficult to hear the words that are being spoken. After a moment you find you can make out two distinct voices, a nasal woman who sounds like a heavy smoker and a man who speaks in a high-pitched, breathy tone. XXX just heard XXX Monika need to verify. High-pitched man, good for us. Continue listening. A sound like a conveyor belt starting adds to the noise of the machinery, and you can't make anything else until it comes to a stop a minute later. High-pitched man, think our next step. Nasal woman, isn't ready to make a move yet. Be patient. See who steps up. Could be someone more. More conveyor belts start up. As you can hear, all you can hear is the sound of machinery. Continue listening. Some sort of motorized vehicle starts up, drowning out everything else. A bell rings loudly, again and again. It sounds like a telephone. You hear the sound of a door slamming shut, and the noise of machinery is suddenly muffled. There's a rattle of plastic and the ringing stops. Nasal woman. The nasal woman's voice can be heard again in sing-song tone. Guten Tag. How may I help you? Silence. Her tone changes, becomes more businesslike. I heard. Silence. Yes, he knows. I told him it wasn't time to make a move yet. Silence. What do you think I am, an idiot? The council needs to meet again. Silence. I know. Getting everyone in the same room is challenging. Getting them to agree on a course of action is going to be even more challenging. From my perspective, the Kreuzbasar was only stable because of her. If she really is out of the way, well, we'll see, won't we? Silence. Yeah. I know. What can I say? Things go slow in the flux sometimes. You hear the sound of a door opening again and the cacophony of machinery fills the line. You can't make out anything anymore. It's an old, obsolete phone booth. It's ringing. Pick up the receiver. Voice on phone. A monotone pitch adjusted voice begins speaking almost immediately. The Schlock-Wellenreiter's contact for this Kais is no more. Gamoliadan is listed as a follow-up contact. This is our only secured line to the Kais. The keys? The Kais or the keys? Please listen to the following instructions carefully if you are a supporter of our cause. Who are the Schlock-Wellenreiter? The Schlock-Wellenreiter is fighting for the freedom and liberty of the information in Berlin. The F-state manages many things, but information remains controlled. Corporations keep any information they can under lock and key, silencing dissent, silencing indiscretions, silencing the truth. Our voice is to liberate the information so that any who may wish to access it, and so that the F-state can regulate itself based on truth. We are simply a collective of like-minded individuals working towards this cause. Continue listening. We have phone booths in strategic locations throughout the city. Within each one you may find a request posted for specific information. If you can obtain a copy of this information, return here and submit it via the port below the receiver. We will verify the authenticity of the information remotely and post an undoctored copy of it onto the matrix ourselves. It is our stated goal for this information to remain free to all. However, you will be compensated for sought after information returned to this location. The line goes silent. Hang up the receiver. Alright, information we need to get. Perhaps we should go back where we were before. Let me just have a look at this. A bizarre monument towers before you. At the top of the pedestal, the form of an angel stands. Its outstretched wings looming over the park, but the material is strange and uneven, giving the statue a cold, Frankenstein-esque appearance. It appears that the artist has welded this monument together from various metal scraps and pieces of junk. As you approach, a small grimy motor at the base of the statue flickers dimly to life. The grainy face of a smug young orc appears on screen. Kunzel. Hello there, I'm Herbert Kunzel, the creator of this monument. What would you like to know? This is my tribute to Victory, the victory of anarchy. It is both a citation and parody of the statue we destroyed some 20 years ago. You may remember it from history trids as the Siegasul or Gold Else installation. Isn't it obvious? A monument to the hubris of the Prussian state gets blown to bits, so someone takes a lot of bits and builds a monument to the hubris of anarchy. Press 3 about the artist. I am the visionary Herbert Kunzel from the Lindwurmer. You might know me from? Okay, well there isn't much I'm known for yet, but I intend to change all that. All art is born from misery after all. Step away from the statue very slowly. Alright, let's go back.